But let's welcome on board the management of Century Ply. We've got with us Keshav Bhajanka joining in on the show right now. Keshav, hi, good morning. Good to have you on the show. The strong revival for housing clearly continues to play out from the start of last year to now. Just wanted to understand, what is it that you're expecting from this budget to further push sentiment on ground?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Last year was a remarkable budget. In my opinion, it was a revolutionary budget because it prioritized the real estate sector and the infrastructure sector. Now, if you look at most of the developed economies or even certain developing economies who are perhaps further along, like China, the common theme that you would see would be that the entire revival, the growth phase, the boom, so to speak, started when the real estate sector started doing well, because so many industries are linked to the real estate sector. And you need infrastructure in order to ensure the real estate sector does well. If you want real estate to grow beyond certain metros, which I think is the intention of this government, you need to have the correct infrastructure in place. So I think that the focus on real estate really helped to achieve this strong economic recovery. I think GST collections at an all-time high, earnings are at an all-time high. All of this, somewhere or the other, there is a trickle-down effect. Real estate does affect most industries. And I hope that, in the next budget, they continue with more of the same. They prioritize even further on low-income housing, and they focus on the sector as a whole.
Sure. The other thing that I wanted to also talk about, Keshav, is the fact that globally one is seeing an increased demand for MDF. I mean, if any of the IKEA stores are anything to go by, or the queues outside that, seems like there's going to be much demand here in India as well. What can the government do to push further exports?
I think that there are a number of things, certain initiatives that the government has, for instance, advanced size packing credit and so on and so forth. These do help the industry because it helps us become competitive on a global scale. I think the interest differential between India and other countries has reduced, and that has really helped us. So I'm hoping that that continues. But beyond that, the basic raw material for MDF is plantation timbers, agroforestry. So steps that the government can take to boost agroforestry will definitely aid in the export of MDF. The biggest challenge is the distribution of timber is only in a few states. Other states do not have, because we cannot use forestry timber. MDF requires agroforestry, and that too in only 2 or 3 species. If the government can prioritize the same and give further impetus to the same going forward, you will see a sea change. India could actually become one of the leading exporters of MDF globally.
Hi there, good morning. Let's also talk about the thrust towards affordable housing, because there seems to be an indication that this time around we will see a strong push towards affordable housing in the upcoming budget. Do you think that this is currently the need of the hour? And if so, how is it going to benefit the sector and your company in particular?
Good morning. Yes, definitely. This is the need of the hour. As they say, roti, kapra, makan, the basic necessities in life. So I think we've done phenomenally as a country in terms of roti and kapra. I think the standard of living has improved substantially. Poverty has gone down and so on and so forth. Now, the next phase of growth will come when every person in this country has a home. I'm talking about whatever income strata. At the lower strata in particular, you need to have affordable housing solutions. And the government has launched a number of initiatives towards the same. For us as a company, or for us as an industry, this is going to only aid towards growth of the industry. It's going to aid towards growth of the company. And we are very bullish that, like you said, the government will prioritize low-income housing this time around even further. And if that happens, I'm sure you shall see a very, very good growth in our industry as a whole, and particularly in the organized players.
Keshav, as of now, what would you identify as some of the key problem areas within the sector that you think the government needs to put immediate attention towards? Would it be clarity on asset monetization, or perhaps easing norms when it comes to fundraising, export infrastructure, even incentivizing the use of technology when it comes to infrastructure development? What are some of the key problem areas that need to be addressed?
So I'll start with the basics. Like I have said, plantation, agroforestry in this country really needs a push. If the government can put a strong policy in place to support agroforestry, because first of all, to make any product, you need the basic raw material, whether it is plywood, whether it is MDF, whether it is laminates, because ultimately paper is dependent on agroforestry. If the government can put in place a strong policy towards the same, I am sure you will see tremendous growth in our industry. Other than that, like I said, the interest differential has come down, ease of doing business has gone up. So a number of things have helped our cause. But this is one key challenge: availability of good quality raw material in a large quantity. Only a few states in India, such as say, Punjab, say as Haryana, as Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, would have a quantum of raw material available. I think the government needs to push this in other states across the country. And if they can successfully do this, there could be a sea change in the industry as a whole.
Right. Keshav, great to have you on the show and getting that perspective on what to expect from the budget and, of course, the overall health of the realty sector as well as demand for your company. Good to speak with you as always.